Uh, and hello to you all. I am Saramonsuki, the Joven Saiyan warrior. As a fighter and a Joven, the two things I value more than anything, fighting and Kizuna, the bonds formed with another. This in turn led into a fused passion of sorts for role-playing games or RPGs, in which you control a warrior, warriors, or in rare cases animals and weird aliens, using powers and abilities for the greater good, training, growing stronger, and defeating powerful foes. So in my time, I have played many RPG from all walks of life. Some I've enjoyed, some I've liked, some are meh, as you humans say. So I thought maybe in this first video, I could go over 6 of my favourite console games. Console games referring to anything on a Nintendo console, Xbox, or PlayStation, and I'm counting the Switch as a console, not a handheld. So, for my first video, I'll be going over my top 6 console RPGs. This list is entirely my own opinion, and the games showed in this video belong to their respective. Right then, let's begin with our top 6 console RPGs with Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix number 6. During my research for your media culture, humanity as a whole, two of the biggest influences for you humans was Disney and Final Fantasy. So, being interested, I played the series that blended them together, Kingdom Hearts. Controlling a young teen warrior armed with a mystical weapon, the Keyblade, which I don't know how it hurts people, maybe just clonk some of the head, but I digress. You join fellow party members, fending off the literal embodiment of darkness. From all the games I've played throughout the many platforms, the second game I argue is the best, and to be more specific, the Final Mix version. The Final Mix version, which was brought over to Western Shores on the Kingdom Hearts Remix 2.5 collection, was a remastered part of the PS2 game. Graphically, it still holds up really well today. The music is incredible, the gameplay is active and fun. I will argue some of the worlds you travel to are bad, but there's many new foes to find. Powerful adversaries are new in Cavern of Remembrance, and a secret fight against one of the strongest warriors I've ever faced. I'd highly recommend buying the 2.5 Remix collection for a good time. Number 5. Final Fantasy X. This one might not be my best, but it's the most memorable adventure I've ever been on. The story of you, Tidus, as you walk on a grand adventure to quell an absolute monster called Sin, is one I'll never forget. The story is gripping with some surprising twists. The gameplay is simple but enjoyable. Characters are lovable and diverse. The music is awe-inspiring, and the level of control you have in building your strength is one I can get behind. It has dated somewhat, growing stronger is strange, and the difficulty can be brutal at times. But what the game provided, I don't care. The brutal challenge of 100% is a bit too much training for me, but the content is there and well worth it. Looks like Blitzball, and that's done. Number 4. Miaodomata. Now, I've heard stories of these apocalypse worlds, where you humans imagine what life is like after you're gone, or at least few in number. Going in, I knew of the name, and that it was a technical sequel to another game called simply Nia, but nothing could prepare me for the story involved. Controlling 2 androids, 2B and 9S, you navigate a ruined Earth, traveling the land to fight these wind-up toy machines, saving other androids, all the bits to reclaim the land for the humans who have migrated to the moon. At first, the story seemed average, and the gameplay was decent, but as I beat the game, uploaded my second playthrough, the story turned into one of sadness, regret, anger, and rage, all buried under the plot that I just never noticed. The story was incredible, with shocking twists. The actors do their job, and the music is absolutely one of the best soundtracks of any game I've played, period. I won't spoil it. Oh, and a shout out to its prequel, Nier Replicant, which should absolutely play too, and is available on modern platforms. Number 3. Final Fantasy VII Remake. For you humans, Final Fantasy VII is one of your most memorable and regarded tales of any game. Controlling a bioengineered warrior called Cloud, you fight an organization and this weird one-winged fellow called Sephiroth. How does he fight with only one wing and save the world? I have never played the original adventure, but I have played everything around it, except Dirge of Cerberus. So I knew the story enough, and I was excited to play this remake. What I found was a familiar story, aware of its future, and with it, the semblance of change. I was a little off-put by the new voice cast and personalities of the characters, but going in, I grew to like them. The combat of the game is fast, surprisingly customizable with plenty of energy, and with fantastic music and incredible boss battles that got my blood pumping. The story is a bit hit and miss to some people, only covers 1/3 of the original game, but I enjoyed it. So good story, nice characters, fantastic music. There is some padding in places and a few stumbles, but comes with a high still recommendation. Number 2. Dragon Quest XI. Echoes of an Elusive Age. Now, throughout my gaming, one series that oddly took my interest was Dragon Quest. I've only played 7 and 8, but it oddly stuck with me. It was drawn by a fella called Akira Toriyama, or something like that. And there's even meant to have been a Super Saiyan in Dragon Quest VIII. So, there's that, but moving on. Dragon Quest XI places you in the role of a young warrior who goes off into the world to protect it from darkness. For some odd reason, you're treated as a villain, but you gain some trusty friends of literal all shapes and sizes, and together fight monsters and save the world. The game was amazing. You can freely grow your party and equip them for battle. The monster designs are strange but hilarious. Boss battles are fantastic, and there might be a turn-based battle system, but it's still incredibly good. Saying that though, when I was playing it, I couldn't help feel I've seen some of these characters before though. It's weird. If you pick up this game, I highly recommend the S version. It comes with more story, better music, the original had synthesizers was orchestral. And, as a nice note, you can play the entire game from start to finish in a 2D 16-bit mode with an action turn-based system. So that's good for die-hard holders. Now before we go to number 1, honorable mention goes to Yakuza Like a Dragon. It is just an insane, lovable story. Ichiban is one of my now favourite protagonists of all time. And it's literally humans pretending to be epic warriors, learning strange moves and summons. It's a really good time. And with that, moving on to number 1, Persona 5 Royal. As a Jovan warrior, and as a species, we believe in strength, discipline, and the power of Kizuna, the bonds we share with one another. This game personifies everything I like to believe in. Controlling a rather stylish youth, he is brutally beaten by these police people and recaps his life to an interrogator of the strange powers he seems to possess. What follows is his young man's story as he goes through normal school with normal people but discovers a world hidden in the subconscious of humans. Through his phone, an app called the MetaNav allows him to travel to a strange world called a palace or the metaverse. It's a distortion of a location from the real world. For example, the first big foe you face is a gym teacher who sees himself as the king of the school. So the started world is a castle. Is literally from the school because that's how he views it. So he views himself as a king of the school, so therefore castle. The story centers on your character who's labelled a convict for a crime he didn't commit and forges bonds with friends, all each wrongly labelled by society, and all wish to break free of their constraints. You go from palace to palace and normal school life, defeating the corrupt adults and saving the innocents. Your weapons are personas, the spirits that embody your strength. You collect them and even pull a fusion trick to make new ones. This game has all the things I dearly like about RPGs: an amazing story, fantastic characters, catchy music that collect them all itch, good presentation, and plenty of content. If there's one niggle, it's a long game, but definitely a worthy one. Well folks, those were my top console RPGs. What's your favourite one? Tell me in the comments below. Otherwise, thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, follow me on Twitter, and have an amazing day.